I am here at Western New York Strength and Conditioning to meet with Anthony Albano, DPT, to work on squat mechanics and hip mobility. Oh, it sucks getting old.
Hi, my name is Anthony Albano. I'm a doctor of physical therapy. I have an office here at Western New York Strength and Conditioning. I'm working with Brian here. He's had some issues with squatting, some issues with his low back and his right hip. So we've been working on addressing his mechanics. One, how his hips move, how his torso moves, and addressing those things. We've been working on exercises that help with repositioning his torso and his hips so that he can move better when he's trying to change levels, like with squatting, with lunging, different activities like that. So this first exercise, we're gonna go up on your toes, good. Round your back, shift towards me a little bit, right arm forward. So from here, we're shifting him into his left hip, and we're getting a difference in his right hip. And what he's gonna do is he's gonna take a breath in through his nose, breathe into his back, and he's exhaling. As he's exhaling, he's pushing with his left hand. He's pushing with his left hand to engage his left abs, so he's pulling his left rib cage back. See someone that has an asymmetrical rib cage position, which is not uncommon. And so this exercise helps address the asymmetrical rib cage along with the asymmetrical pelvis. So for him, I have him doing about eight breaths, breathing into his back. Mostly for this, I want him to do working sets so that he's feeling his abs more so on the left, and he's feeling himself breathing into his back. All right, Brian, now let's get you laying on your right side. We'll go head on the pillow here. Let's go feet on the wall. Good, so part of why his right hip bothers him, especially when he squats, is he shifts into his right hip really easily. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to find the right muscles to help position his left pelvis so that it functions better, so that when he's lowering down into a squat, he can actually load through his left hip and he's not just shifting right into his right hip. So by doing so, we're positioning him like this, round your back, take a breath into the back, exhale, good. And when you inhale, shift back, good. Exhale, push down. Let me know if you feel your left inner thigh and your left glute doing the work. Give me a thumbs up if you do. Perfect. So for him, we're finding his left inner thigh and his left glute to help shift his pelvis so that when he lowers down, he's lowering down through his left hip. So these are exercises he can use as a warm-up if he needs it to do his lower body exercises, or he can do it as a cool down, so when he's walking out of the gym, he's walking out of the gym with good mobility.
Okay, right now I have Brian doing this quadruped breathing on forearms. Sit your hips back a little bit more towards your heels. There you go. So he's breathing into his back. This helps open his back up so that when he's walking out of the gym, he's walking out with good mobility through his body so that he can move through his trunk and his hips really well. Because when we exercise and we're trying to lift heavy weights, we tend to get in a position that gives us a mechanical advantage to lifting. So an example here is these pictures over here. Pictures here, the one on the left shows the body going into an extended position with pelvis going forward and the back extended, because that's a really good position for power. Now the picture on the right, that's with the pelvis tucked underneath, a good curve in the spine, ribs tucked in, and that's more for variability so that you can move better. Well, when you're lifting heavy, the picture on the left is where you tend to go. You lose range of motion, but you can produce more power. Picture on the right, you have more variability of movement, but you can't produce as much force. So when you're walking out of the gym, you want to walk out of the gym like picture on the right, not the picture on the left. So this exercise here that Brian's doing is helping achieve that. He's getting his pelvis underneath his rib cage, breathing into his back, so he's getting out of that extended position. Okay, we got Brian here doing deep squat breathing with lat stretch. Purpose of this exercise is so that he can open up his back, so it's not limiting his ability while he's trying to squat. So what he's doing is he's breathing into his back in this down squat position, and with his arms up like that, he's getting a lat stretch. By breathing into his back and getting that lat stretch and having his pelvis tucked under him, totally relaxes his spinal erectors and will allow him to move through his pelvis and his back better while he's squatting. Okay, this is left front foot elevated split squat with a right reach. Brian's doing this so that he's loading his left leg. The big thing with him for this is that he feels his left inner thigh working, so that way he's fully into his left hip. He has trouble when squatting that he shifts over to his right hip, so this drill helps get him into his left hip. So then from there, he'll go straight into a goblet squat to get him actually squatting properly. So the biggest thing while he's squatting, reach the elbows forward, is making sure that he's not shifting to the right as he's squatting. So it looks pretty good there. And he's not getting that butt wink at the bottom. Remember, keep the hips tucked.
Yep.